Blog Talk Radio.
And welcome to the Doctors Are In show here on the Psychic Talk Radio Network. This is the show where we discuss and take your questions on tarot, numerology, Vedic mantras and practices, as well as anything and everything psychic, spiritual, hypnosis, meditation, energy healing, psychic development, and so much more. We also take your calls for free mini readings and guidance live on the air. So if you want to have a free mini reading, call us at 714-816-4628, and be sure to press the number 1 so that we know that you would like to get in the queue, basically. Let me give you that number one more time. It's 714-816-4628. Press the number 1 so that you can get into the queue, and we know that you want to have a free mini reading. Today's topic is Living Life on Purpose, Part 2, how to take advantage of troubled times. But before we get to that, let me do a couple of introductions. Hi, I'm Rose, Dr. Wilkerson, Dr. Rose. Gosh, I'm changing my name. I'm your host, Dr. Rose, and I love talking about all things psychic. I'm an intuitive certified life coach, and I have a passion for mythology. I love to befriend, invoke, communicate, and work with divine beings from different traditions. But most importantly, I love to take my psychic knowledge and skills to help others just like you to have a true transformation in your life. So welcome to the show, and joining me as always is my fabulous co-host, the founder and executive producer of Psychic Talk Radio, Dr. Dax. Now, Dr. Dax is also the founder and president of the Tarot Guild, which is in its 16th year. He's been a radio personality for 10 years now, as well as a certified tarot master, numerologist, life coach, and professional hypnotist. Did I do that again? Hypnotist. Good Lord, my mouth. And here he is, Dr. Dax. Hey, Dax, how you doing? Great to be back on the air with you.
Hypnotist. Okay.
Yeah. He's a hypnotist.
I can't talk today.
I haven't had enough of my caffeine this morning. So.
Yes, me too. I really need another cup of coffee, but I'm doing the show, so I can't get away right now. Oh, my God. Another fabulous weekend upon us. Of course, every day, it's all weekend now, right? Because we're at home.
I know, right? Good Lord. It's hard, yeah.
How you been holding up?
Pretty good. Not too bad. I have to take things, a step at a time and rest when I need to rest and, not try to, like some structure is good, but, sometimes my energy is just not there. And, it's just sometimes, I think it's, I don't know, sometimes I just need a little bit more fresh air and get out into nature a little bit more, but sometimes the kind of energy of things, if I'm watching, my mom and I will often spend time watching the news together. She's a newsie, so that's her thing, at the age of 82.
Well, that's going to get you down if you watch the news for a long time, right?
I know. So, seeing all of that or reading a lot of posts on Facebook about, fears and stuff, that stuff can really get you down. So I just, be loving towards myself and not try to force myself into doing too much stuff when I need to stop and heal and kind of readjust my energy and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, and that's why we're doing this series of shows all this month, Living Life on Purpose, because, that's the shift that you have to make, In fact,
right.
The next 2 Living Life on Purpose shows next week and the week after, we're doing Part 1 and Part 2 of 10 techniques to help overcome fear, anxiety, stress, we got a lot of great stuff for you. In fact, I started off with 7, and now I'm up to 10. And today in the green room, Dr. Rose was saying, okay, I think we got to break this up because we can't do 10 techniques in one show. You know, the topic we take calls during the show, and the topic is typically only supposed to be 15 or 20 minutes, you know. So we're going to do 5 techniques next Friday and then 5 techniques on the 24th. So the 17th and the 24th. But, you know, I had to make the shift too because when all this happened, you know, I was in the same boat as everybody else. I mean, I still am. You know, I'm going through this just like everybody else. But the difference is that when it first happened, I swear, Rose, I slipped into this malaise. I slipped into this, you know, I can't even describe what it was. You know, I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to sit in my PJs, lay in bed, and watch movies all day until I could finally go to sleep.
I was the same way. I could identify. I was the same way.
Eat your bonbons and eat your chocolate and just sit there watching movies and television shows and everything else, you know. And when we decided to do this series of shows, you know, it was perfect because I had made the shift to, hey, you know, I got to start living life on purpose. I got to start taking advantage of these troubled times, which is the title for today's show, Living Life on Purpose Part 2, Taking Advantage of Troubled Times. Because that's the real key in these situations. In NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, we call it reframing. And it's just a simple shift. It's almost imperceptible, this shift, and then the whole world just changes before your eyes. It's just absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. You know, because go through those techniques. We're going to do 5 next week and 5 the week after, like I said. And they're going to allow you to overcome fear, anxiety, stress in 5 minutes or less with these different techniques.
Nice.
However, what we're talking about today is perhaps all you really need is making that shift and moving forward, taking positive steps, taking advantage of these times. You know, how can you take advantage of this? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, before we get into this topic, I did want to do the card of the day and the numerology of the day. And we do that every week, but I want to do it right now specifically because it matches up amazingly with what we're talking about today. I mean, I was shocked myself. I ran the numbers and pulled the card of the day, and I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. So we're going to do that. I did want to mention you gave out the phone number. Let me give it out one more time in case there's people listening in. You know, get into the queue now because we're going to jump on phone calls right after this. So 714-816-4628. Remember to press 1 on your dial pad. As soon as you get through, that lets us know you want to be live on air. 714-816-4628. But you can also join us in the chat room. I'm over here in the Tarot Guild chat room on thetarotguild.com. You'll see chat on the far right, the link in the nav bar at the top of any page. Or just open a new browser, you know, open a new tab, type in thetarotguild.com/chat, and you can pop in the chat room with us, comment on the show. You can even ask questions about the topic or ask for a mini reading right from the chat room, thetarotguild.com/chat. And I guess I should mention, as long as I'm on the topic, Dr. Rose, that our Friday and Saturday shows here on the Psychic Talk Radio Network are sponsored by the Tarot Guild. And the Tarot Guild has been the organization since 2004 for tarot lovers, students, and professionals across the globe. So come join us. We just broke 6,000 members on our Facebook group. You can type in Tarot Guild on Facebook or thetarotguild.com/Facebook will take you right over there. Come join our group if you're into tarot and numerology. over 6,000 people to play with over there. But we also have the tarotguild.com, which, our first website we had for 10 years. As you mentioned earlier in the show, we went into our 16th year now of the Tarot Guild, and we launched our first website. God, it was 2009. We launched it officially in January 2010. We just had our 10-year anniversary days. Yeah. And we decided, the website needed to be freshened up. It was 10 years old. It was on its last legs. And we decided, instead of having a static website again, to create a social media, social networking community website, just like Facebook. I often call it Facebook for Tarot. And it has all the features you find on Facebook and the other big social media website, except none of the negative stuff, and it's all tarot all the time. So you can go over to the tarotguild.com and join for free. At the top of any page, it says sign up. You can sign up with a email address and a password, or you can just click Facebook or Twitter or Google or, any of the buttons there, the social media buttons, and sign up instantly with those. So there you go. And going to the numerology of the day. So 4/10/2020 adds up to 9. It is a 9 date. That's about the endings. It's the end of a cycle. We live through these 1 through 9, 1 through 9, 1 through 9 daily cycles, monthly cycles, and yearly cycles, 1 through 9. And 9 is about endings. It's about letting go. Let go of beliefs that no longer serve you, relationships that no longer serve you. Literally and figuratively clean out the closet. Let go of the mental baggage, right? The spiritual baggage. That's what it's all about. And then the day, the 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. It's a 1 day. 1 is the opposite. It's the beginning of a new cycle. 1 is new beginnings. And that's actually what I want to get into with the topic today. Ending one cycle, clearing things out, and taking advantage of these troubled times to create new beginnings for yourself. Interestingly enough, I pulled the card of the day and I got the 9 of Pentacles, which matches up with the 9 energy of the date, Rose. And I always call the 9 of Pentacles to me, the 9 of Pentacles is the self-made woman. In the traditional Waite Smith version of the card, she's sitting there and, standing there in the garden. She has all these pentacles at her feet. She's accumulated wealth. She has on a glove, and it's like a falcon, with one of those hoods on, which is a symbol of wealth. She's got gorgeous gowns. She's inside of a gorgeous manicured garden space. Okay? And so she has abundance. And that's what we're going to talk about here. How we can actually create abundance. Now, there is another thing that we often say about the 9 of Pentacles is that she's self-made, she's an entrepreneur, she's made her life and her abundance herself. But the interesting thing is it's cutting her off a little bit from the outside world. She's in this garden, Rose, surrounded by these tall hedges going all the way around. And it's like the same garden that appears in the Ace of Pentacles. And isn't that interesting that that's the situation we're all in? Most of us are at home, separated from other people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly true.
Yeah. So there's two things about that. The meaning, hints at we need to connect with the outside world, which we can still do. We're doing it right now here on the radio shows. You can do it via Skype. You can do it on Zoom and everything, and do video conferencing, FaceTime, Facebook Lives, all that kind of stuff. You can still reach out. But the other thing is that part of being the self-made woman and being successful, an entrepreneur, and acquiring the wealth is that, you remember the old phrase, it's lonely at the top? Well,
yeah.
There's a certain amount of that isolation that's necessary, actually. And we're in what appears to be forced isolation, but we can turn the tables on that. And that's what I want to talk about for the topic today. So we'll do the topic, and then we'll get into phone calls. Oh, we got more phone calls coming on board. Hey, everybody on the phone lines, hang in there. We're going to come to you shortly. And if you're listening out there live, join us in the chat room, thetarotguild.com/chat. You can ask questions and ask for a mini reading from there. Or better yet, call us. Get into the queue. We take the calls in the order that they come in, so get into the queue early. If you're listening live and you're on the fence, dial in right now, 714-816-4628. And as soon as you get through, press 1 on your dial pad. If you're Skyping in, open up your Skype app, your dial pad, press 1. And we're going to be chatting with you very shortly. I see Sharona in the chat room. Hello, everyone. Hi, Sharona. Sharona is the host of our Sunday show, and we'll be mentioning her upcoming show this Sunday really shortly here. We'll be getting to that as well, upcoming shows and so forth like that. So here we are.
Hey.
Yeah, go ahead, Rose.
Oh, I was going to just interject a little bit. Something that I remembered. You were talking about, meeting people on Facebook or chatting with people on Facebook, on Skype, and, people who have iPhones like FaceTime and things of that nature. It reminded me of something that I've never really done, but I've seen videos of people doing this. There is something if you guys want to do something for fun. It's a weird thing, but there's like a video chat that you can do with a company called Omegle. It's OMEGLE.com. This is usually something fun for college students, but hey, it's any age, anybody over 18. And Omegle is they've been out for a long time, and what they do is they'll match you up with a stranger for a little bit of time. It's usually 5 minutes or something like that, and then they'll switch you to another one, and you just introduced to people all over, whomever it is. And if you're a little scared about doing something like that, I can understand that, but go to YouTube and watch some videos. That's something fun to do, just random people through your through the computer. I think I did it a little bit, and it was interesting.
Well, along those lines, Rose, another thing they can do is go on Facebook, and you can go on Facebook and find out all the lives that are going on right this minute. And
that's true.
In addition to watching the YouTube videos, which is great too, because YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, and you can search any topic and for free learn anything. That's one thing you could take advantage of. But to feel more connected, Rose, what I'm thinking is, Omegle is a great idea. And
that's just
none
for fun,
of us,
right?
right. None of us should feel isolated. We can talk to people out there, even if you don't know anybody, even if you don't have any family or friends to speak of. That's what we should be doing, connecting with family and friends on Skype and Zoom and what have you. Facebook, FaceTime, Facebook Live, not Facebook Live, Facebook video chat, things like that. But, if not, another opportunity is to look for lives that are out there. So you can join other people that are watching these lives and interact with the people in the chat area of the live, and that way you have a feeling of connection to, other living people right then, and, not something pre-recorded, but happening live right now, so that's another great idea.
Right.
And your fantastic ideas, Dr. Rose, are exactly what I'm getting at, that we do have power, even when we're feeling powerless.
Yeah.
There are things that you can be doing during these troubled times. And we are going to come out of this, like your mom. My parents are the same way with the news going 24/7. And let me tell you, that'll drive you nuts and cause you to be scared to death and not be able to sleep at night, and the fear and everything like that. So, before we get into those techniques over the next couple of weeks, Rose, I think step one is you turn the frickin' television off, or at least the news. I mean, turn the news off. Watch comedies. Laughter is the best medicine for everything. Fear, stress, it all melts away. I don't care if it's the Three Stooges or a modern comedy. Watch comedies, movies, television shows, watch TV, watch movies, all those turn the news off. A lot of yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to finish up with, a lot of it is inaccurate, and they only are talking about the negative stuff, and they're compounding it and compounding it and compounding it and compounding it. And if you don't do your own research on this virus, if you don't do your own research on pandemics, viruses, how they work, everything like that, and realize that there's a bell curve. And honestly, if you do listen to the news, it's starting to flatten out, and we're starting to curve. The bell curve's going to go down the other side. We're coming out of this, folks. I did a tarot reading weeks back, and I said that it was going to start to fizzle in 6 weeks. We're coming up on that real soon. The 6th week. I can't remember if the 6th week is next week or the week after, but I predicted 6 weeks, and it's happening, folks. It's happening, and they scare you with these incredible numbers, and oh my God, 17,000 people have died in the United States. Yes, it's horrific. I understand that. But 50,000 people have died already this winter from the common flu.
Yeah.
50,000. Right. You have to put it in perspective. I'm not telling anybody, remember when Trump was like, it's a hoax. It's a hoax. No, it's not a hoax. It's a real virus. It's out there. Yes, I understand that. But the fear comes in, and the scare tactics, when they compound it and constantly, 24-hour news cycle, for 24 hours a day, you can listen to them talking about this pandemic. Do they ever bring up influenza, the common flu? Do they mention that, okay, to put things in perspective, we've had 39 million people in the United States come down with the flu this year. 400,000 of them were hospitalized. And somewhere between 20, 30, up to 50, 60,000 people, they don't know exact numbers because, remember, you don't die from the flu, you die from the complications. You get the pneumonia is what actually kills you.
Right.
And so not every jurisdiction is required or even wants to report deaths from the flu. So they have to do extrapolations from the number of hospitalizations, the types of flus that's most prevalent. By the way, remember the N1H1 scare? That's the most prevalent flu right now out there. And it's already killed somewhere, like I said, between 20, 30, up to 50, 60,000 people in the United States, compared to the 17,000 that have died. Unfortunately, it's terrible, from the coronavirus, the COVID-19 from 2019. It's just from when it was discovered, that's all. And, so I just wanted to put things in perspective and say, you got to turn off the news. That's like step one of recovering. If you are feeling powerless, if you're feeling fear, stress, leading to anxiety, that's step one, right there. Now, when these horrific things happen like this, Dr. Rose, 9/11 is brought up often, and we lost, 2,900, close to 3,000 people, But a lot of really positive things happened on the other side of the coin that are usually not brought up because, see, the media, the news likes to only present the negative, okay? Here's one that I love mentioning is the stock market crash of, what was it, 1929? So it was this huge financial crash. Some people jumped out of windows because they lost everything. Other people became millionaires. Other people became rich with the exact same circumstances, you see. That's what I'm trying to get at. Let me check on the time here. Okay, so we're going to speed things up a little bit. We're getting towards the bottom of the hour, Rose. And, be sure to jump. I want to get your thoughts on this. I want you to jump in.
Okay.
So everybody is experiencing fear, anxiety, stress right now. And like I said, next week, 2-part series we're starting on those 10 techniques. We'll do 5 one week, 5 the next week. Okay. But this is the first step, moving forward, taking positive steps. What is it that you can do now in isolation, in your homes? What can you do? Well, the numerology gives us a hint. It being a 9 date, we can clear out the closet, literally and figuratively. Clean house, clean the garage. And then if you have, connections to past relationships, beliefs and fears that no longer serve you, you can let go of those. And we're going to give you techniques over the next 2 weeks how to do that. But you can also get on Skype and on Zoom with a practitioner and work on these things from home. You don't need to even go out and see a local practitioner. You can find a practitioner of NLP techniques, energy psychology, EFT, energy tapping, hypnotherapy. You can get on a Skype call or a Facebook video call or Zoom and start to work on these things. Not to mention all the other things, like you've wanted to lose weight. Okay, well, get some hypnotherapy or NLP sessions, life coaching, on Skype or what have you, and get some hypnotherapy for losing weight, weight loss. I like to say weight management because whatever we lose, we want to try to get back, Rose.
What do you call it? A space loves a vacuum, or?
Yeah, it's like a little psychology trick. It works on the subconscious mind because you don't want to say lose weight. You want to say manage your weight. And hey, you've wanted to quit smoking. This is the best time to quit smoking. You're stuck at home. You don't have your normal triggers. Like some people are triggered by getting in their car and driving around. They light a cigarette. Going to the bar or a restaurant. They have dinner. They go outside, have a cigarette. They go to the bar. They go outside, have a cigarette with their friends there. Break time at work. Quitting time at work. Light a cigarette. You don't have any of those triggers right now. You're at home.
Right.
So what can you do? You can gather up all the lighters. You can gather up all the ashtrays, all the T-shirts and hats that have the paraphernalia, have Marlboro on them, whatever. Throw them in the trash can. Throw everything in the trash can, and get on the horn with me or another hypnotherapist. Quit smoking.
There you go.
So what else can you do? Okay. With this 9, we're going to talk about the 1 energy in a second. The 9 energy, cleaning things out, clearing these things out, working on all these things. Now, the other side of the coin, this is a 1 day, and that's new beginnings. You could take advantage of this time. Rose, you mentioned, do YouTube videos. You can learn anything for free right now. You can take courses.
Actually, you can. Yeah, you can. You know, YouTube has called the YouTube Creator University that teaches you for free how to grow your YouTube channel. You can start there. A lot of people start businesses that way. You know, get some extra income and stuff. So, and it's all free. They because if you're successful, they're successful. That's how they see it. So you can even learn that.
This is the reframing. This is when you sit and you think and reframe it in your mind. Okay, I'm stuck at home. I can't go to work.
Right.
Yeah, well, you're also freed up from the time that work takes from you, and you're stuck at home with the opportunity now. You could start your own YouTube channel on your favorite topic and take all that free training you were mentioning about. Rose, you can also read books, listen to audiobooks. You could take this opportunity to reinvent yourself, change your eating habits. Okay, a lot of people that go to restaurants a lot now are eating more at home. You can, watch Rachel Ray. You could take free cooking courses and videos, on YouTube and learn to eat healthier. Okay, exercise at home. Get out in the fresh air, walk around, and come back in. Maybe have a treadmill at home, or maybe have, weights, or you could do body weight exercises right there at home. You've got the time, folks. And this is also the best time to set your intentions, make plans. Remember, we did those shows on setting intention and setting goals. Go back in our archive and listen to some of those folks. Get some ideas. We did SMART goals. Put that in the search box on psychictalk.net and learn the SMART goals approach to setting goals. Set your intentions. Do your mind work. Say your mantras. There's lots of opportunity. Now, you just lost a job or your business. What would you rather be doing? See, when we're stuck in a job that we don't like, or even our own business that's not making progress, not having the abundance that we want it to have, but we're stuck in it. We can't imagine doing anything else. We don't have the time even to think about it. Well, now you do. Now you have the time to think about, what would I rather be doing? And this is another opportunity to get on the horn with a life coach like yourself or myself, and we can help you in a coaching session, narrow it down to what really makes your heart sing, what you really should be doing, and you could take advantage of that. You could take any trainings that you need right now online, and you could take these opportunities now to reinvent yourself. And Rose, as you start doing all this, as you start cleaning the house and cleaning everything out, maybe rearranging the furniture, painting the walls, doing landscaping work, gardening in your garden, taking courses, reading books, listening to audiobooks, exercising, changing your eating patterns, buying different foods, making plans, setting intentions, thinking about what you want to be doing, finally getting down to meditating. You've been wanting to meditate your entire life, but you never have time for it. Well, now you do. And saying mantras and doing other mind work, energy tapping, EFT, NLP techniques, a lot of which we're going to teach in the next 2 weeks. Okay, as you start doing all this and looking at your life, taking a real hard look, what would I rather be doing? As we come out of this crisis, how can I set myself up for success? So, as we come out of it, or actually before we even come out of it, through the web, what could I be doing? What business can I start?
Right.
Your YouTube channel, take a course on hypnotherapy, NLP, EFT, become certified, start seeing clients on Skype, on Facebook, and my God, but see, the thing is, Rose, as you start doing all of these positive things and moving into a positive direction, moving forward instead of staying static, guess what it does? It wipes out the fear, the anxiety, and the stress, because you've now taken control of your life, like we set this up last week with part 1 of Living Life on Purpose, most people let life happen to them. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You can take the reins. You know, I think we mentioned on last week's show, there's a reason why there's the 99% and the 1%. The 1% think differently than the 99%. The 1% take action.
That's
the
right.
1% live life. You know, people like Bill Gates and like Oprah Winfrey, and I'm trying to think of some Branson, and you know, these billionaires, and you know, they live life on purpose.
Yeah, you know, the way that I look at it is, it's not over till it's over. If you're well, you're not sick or infected or anything like that, and you can educate yourself. There's so much that you can do. Why call it quits now? You know, just because things
Right.
have changed, there's plenty for you to do. Like you said, YouTube just is a source for any and everything you ever wanted to know.
It's a gold mine.
Opinions in it. But yeah,
it's
even
a
Google,
mine.
you know.
I take an hour or 2 or 3 out of my day every single day to learn something new on YouTube because it's free.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
You know, I constantly learn new techniques, and when I learn something new, I learn about something else, which leads me into searching for that. I search on YouTube, I find that, then I learn that, you know, and it's just
right.
building up your skills and abilities. It's just amazing. Oh, wow. So the phone lines are starting to light up like a Christmas tree. Give us a ring,
okay.
714-816-4628. That's 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, press 1 on your dial pad so that we know that you want to be live on air, and it'll put you into the queue. We take the calls in the order that they come in. So before we go to calls in just a minute, Rose, your mantra of the week. Yes.
So last week I said that I'll be providing a mantra to combat the coronavirus spiritually. And, of course, this is not to take place. This is not to replace any of the, you know, your medical professionals and authorities out there for how, you know, for the social distancing and things of that nature. I'm not saying chant these things and just go out and be stupid. But you can, if you're worried, you know, if there are some people who are still working and still interacting out there, and they have to wear, you know, masks that may not really fully protect them, and some gloves and things of that nature. You know, we have a shortage in this country for all of that. But, you know, when you have some time, the mantra is coronavirus Nashi, with an N as in Nancy, Mashi, and with an M as in Michael. So coronavirus Nashi Mashi. This was given to us by Dr. Pillai, who was a Siddha master. He has mastered mantras and meditations. He was from southern India, and he was trained for many, many years. And he directs a lot of his programs and services and whatnot to Westerners, particularly the United States. And so that's the mantra that he has created. So coronavirus Nashi Mashi. Coronavirus Nashi Mashi. He recommends that you chant it 3 times a day. He actually recommends that you do it 1,008 times each session, which is a lot. So, but, you know, even if you do a little bit, it's better than nothing at all, right? You know, if you're concerned about, exposure, if you're concerned about exposure or whatnot, just chant it. And what's interesting, though, I have found, I haven't chanted it a lot, but when I started chanting it, it's interesting because it really felt other issues that I had, you know, health issues that I had kind of cleared up a little bit. You know, I'm not saying it's a big miracle or anything like that. Like, oh, I had a disease and it's gone. I don't mean it that way. But I think it also works in some in another way. You know, probably works with your prana, your life energy, and, you know, things of that nature. So, you know, if you're concerned and you want a mantra to help provide you with some protection while you're out there, coronavirus Nashi Mashi. Coronavirus Nashi Mashi. And there is a, let's see, I guess if you're on the Tarot Guild's chat room and you want a free audio of that chanting, it will be in Dr. Polai's voice. Let me know, and I'll post the link for a free audio. You just download it from SoundCloud and whatnot, and try to play it 3 times a day. If you can't do 1,008, do 108.
Oh, awesome.
Or less, or do something. Even chant it 3 times is good. So
Dr. Rose, you're going to post the link in the Tarot Guild chat room for everybody.
Yeah, it'll be in a few, only because I'm also doing a watch party on Facebook
no rush.
of the same chanting. Yeah, but I will.
Yeah.
I will. Once this is over, yeah.
Yeah, no rush. What I was getting at is I want to be able to tell them where to go. So you're going to go to thetarotguild.com/chat. That's thetarotguild.com/chat. Go into the main room there on the chat room page, and you're going to see the link as soon as Rose is able to post that on there.
That's right.
Awesome sauce. Alrighty, so we're going to go to the phone lines here and take some phone calls, see who's out there, chat a little bit, and then I'll be doing upcoming shows on the network in a little while. And, of course, you already know a couple. You want to go and mark your calendars because we're going to be doing those techniques the next 2 Fridays. So that's the 17th and the 24th of April. We're going to be doing 5 a show. So we can get, and hopefully we'll be able to get through them, splitting it up that way. Rose, we might have to split it up like 3, 3, and 4 or something like that. I don't know. Or 3, 3, and 3 is 9. Yeah, so 3, 3, and 4 or something like that. I don't know. It depends on how long it takes. We're going to go through doing energy tapping, a bunch of different cognitive behavioral types of techniques, NLP techniques. I've got one from Eckhart Tolle. It's actually Eckhart Tolle, but people call him Eckhart Tolle. Yeah, got one from him as well.
I was wondering about that.
Yes. And all these things we're going to talk about are like 5 minutes or less. I mean, it takes a minute or two to go through a lot of these different things, and you could just pick and choose, which ones you'd like to do. I might end up having to do some videos describing the techniques individually, or a blog post or both. I don't know, something like that, But, of course, you'll always have the shows where you can fast forward to the part where we're talking about the different techniques and re-listen to them. Okay, let's see here. So who's been waiting the longest? It looks like area code 828. I love that number, 828.
Hi.
Caller, what's your name, hon? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Danielle, and I'm in Roanoke, Virginia.
Danielle. So how are you doing? What's it like?
I'm doing okay.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Or topic? Oh, you're very welcome. What question or topic would you like to talk about?
Well, I'm going to be moving in with this friend of mine. Well, we're not real good friends. We don't know each other that well. I'm moving in with her in 3 weeks, and I already feeling uncomfortable with some of her behavior already. She has a nonverbal cerebral palsy son who's in diapers and is completely mentally incapacitated, and she smacked him on his hand. I think she got mad at me when I was over there the other day because I gave him a few slices of apple while I was watching him, and she puts him in his room and then slams the door.
Mm-hmm.
And she's passive aggressive, and I'm about to move in with her.
Is there?
And I don't have any
moving in with her?
Because I'm leaving my boyfriend. I'm leaving my boyfriend.
I already pulled some cards on it.
Relationship. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, you do have to get out of that situation, but I'm looking at the cards, and the very first card, 7 of Swords, this is all the stuff behind the scenes. This is all the hidden stuff that you're you're just getting a glimpse of right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is some baggage here. There is some issues. There's some things. Oh yeah. And I'm afraid you're just getting a glimpse of it. I really am. And I did this as a yes, no. Whether this was a good idea. And I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. I'm sorry. I miscounted. Okay, so I'm getting 3. I thought it was 4 no's. It's only 3 no's, but still, it's leaning towards no, that this is not a good idea. Now, when I get less than 4 or 5 yeses or less than 4 or 5 no's with the cards, it could go either way. You could still make it work, kind of thing, but the cards are really hinting towards this might not be a good idea. The main focus card, the Page of Wands, it has you searching more, researching, searching. It has you looking at other opportunities. And then once you do that, the next card is the Wheel of Fortune. Fortune's going to turn in your favor. And then the 4 of Wands, which is a card about celebration. It's often about like going to a bar mitzvah or a wedding reception or something like that. But in this case, the number 4 is structure, and it's the number of home. It's the number of buildings. If you think of it, to make any building, you have to have at least the 4 walls, right? So that's where the 4 comes in. And in the traditional Waite-Smith version of the card, they have the canopy there held up by the 4 wands. It's symbolizing, in this particular question and reading, it's symbolizing finding home. So I feel really strongly, Danielle, that you're going to have the fortune turn in your favor. You're going to find the right living circumstances. I just don't think this is it. I mean, I'm really worried about that 7 of Swords. There's things that are. How are you feeling about it, Rose? Did you get a gut instinct on that? This is just more of it's kind of like going from the frying pan into the fire, right? So neither situation is one that you want. And if you're already seeing things, especially people who are passive aggressive, you just don't know how they're going to come out and do things. So that's and you're already upset by what you see, and you're not even living with her yet. So that's a big warning sign. That's your clue right there.
Yeah. This is just the tip of the iceberg, my dear. So and so in terms of what to do, see what as we were talking about earlier. Do all that you can, research all that you can to see if there's another living situation that you can have for yourself in the meantime. Someplace that is more stable, a bit more peaceful. I would do as much as you can to see what you can do about that, and just
even if
Google
it's temporary.
I'm single, trying to get out of a relationship, and I need a place to stay in Virginia. Do what you got to do to see, because I really hate for you to be in that situation, because it's not gonna be peaceful for you. It's you're already coming out of a bad relationship, and then you're getting into another one. Especially in a living condition, and that is extremely difficult. So, if you're into mantras, of course, the coronavirus one is not going to help you for this particular thing. But what you can do is chant the mantra gum. It sounds like chewing gum, but it's gum. And what that does is that helps you. It helps to remove any kind of obstacles and anything that's blocking your way from seeing a better living place for you. And I've known people to really have miracles when they've chanted this mantra. I had a friend of mine. Quick story: a friend of mine who had a business issue. She was trying to get some money for a business transaction from a client, and the client wasn't really paying up. And so she said, well, what do I do? And I said, chant to Ganesha. Ganesha is an elephant-headed god, and he removes obstacles. Even if you don't want to, if you're not really into the god thing, just chant the mantra. It'll still work. But she chanted the mantra. Now, she did this on her own. I didn't tell her to chant 2 or 3 hours, but she was up all night because she was just worried about it, and she chanted and chanted and chanted. And don't you know that morning, she talked to me at night. That morning, she got her money from the client. That's how powerful that mantra is. So do what you can. If you really don't want to move in with this person, chant dumb, just go with the flow and just say, hey, I need a better situation, You can chant in your head. You don't have to tell people that you're chanting. Chant in your head, That's perfectly fine. Or you could, but, there are plenty of audios out there that you can listen to, and I can post them in the tarot chat room. But that will help you find a better solution, because I really would hate for you to jump into that one.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thanks for calling in, Danielle.
Thank you.
I wish we had better news for her, but sometimes, the tarot tells you what you need to hear, and I think she needed to hear that. And she already knew. I mean, she's already, like you said, Rose, she's already feeling this way, and she's not even living there yet. It's all about gut instinct, and like I say about tarot, you go to a tarot reader, and it's 90% confirmation, only 10% new information. We're just confirming what you already know. So you could do a gut check yourself. I tell people you put your hand on your solar plexus, take a deep breath, 2 or 3 slow count in breath, hold for 3, exhale slowly for 3, hold for 3. That's how you do those breaths. And I'm telling you now, because write that down. We're going to use it next week on Friday, using the breath technique. Okay. And so you take the breath, you have your hand on your solar plexus, and you just ask. Your body knows. Your body stores information. And, ask, is this right for me? And if you have somebody to help you out, you can do it yourself. I don't really like the techniques that you can do for yourself with applied kinesiology, but I do like the muscle testing done with another person. So you get a friend of yours, you put your arm out in a bar, locking it out, and they push down on it and you resist. And then you ask the question, or have them ask the question. It's better if you ask the question, and just ask, is this move right for me? And if your arm weakens and your friend is able to push your arm down, that's a no. If it stays firm, that's a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you could do muscle testing. You could do the gut check, listen to your instincts. And if you want, you can call in the show and get a confirmation from us, or do a private reading. So there you go. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Who's been waiting on the longest after Danielle? Let me do a time check here. Okay, and area code 917. Caller, are you there?
I'm here. So good to tune into you today. It's Sharona. And
hey,
listening into you. Yeah, such good information. I love those mantras, Dr. Rose.
Oh, yeah. They work. I want to say something really quickly, something that popped into my mind. I went to a workshop where we were learning how to do certain Vedic rituals, and this was more of, anyway, I don't have to go into detail about that. But I met a guy who's certified as a mantra teacher, and he actually is a veteran, and he told us the story about how he said, no, these mantras work. He said, I was under fire. He was in Iraq, and the war in Iraq, and people were shooting. There was a situation where, I don't know if they had an ambush or something, but they were trying to get out of the fire. Bullets were flying. He said, I had bullets passing by me and whatnot, and he was leading his team, and in this particular situation, it looked like it would be better for them to go one path, like straight ahead. And there was a car there that they could hide behind, help, to give them protection. And he said that, but he knew somehow inwardly, we shouldn't go that way. We're going to go this way. So they go to the left or whatever, right? Go in a different direction. And don't you know, moments later, that car exploded, that they were going to, the path that made the most sense. and he said, and he swears by it. He said, look, these mantras work. He said, I'm a
Wow.
living testimony. He said, I've had bullets fly by me, didn't touch me, and I was able to, lead my team out of danger and whatnot. He said they work. So that's why I give mantras. That's why I'm big on that. Just believe in the mantra. You don't have to believe in a God, but believe in the mantra. And it's really about frequency, But anyway, I just thought I'd share that. That was a story that popped into my mind earlier today.
Going along with that, I like how you brought up, if you don't want to believe in a particular God or the divine aspect of it or anything like that, at the very least, saying a mantra gets you into what we hypnotherapists call a light alpha state. And you're able to focus in on what it is that you're saying the mantra about. And that sets up a correlation in the reticular activating system I think it's in the medulla oblongata. I'm not entirely sure. It's in the center of the brain, the amygdala. Anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Not a neurosurgeon here. But yeah, and so there's scientific ways of looking at this. You're moving energy. You're drawing in things. It's how energy tapping works as well. I swear everything is hypnosis, because when you're doing a tapping session, you're going into a light alpha state. NLP is known as hypnosis's younger cousin, or younger brother, because the NLP techniques, you don't put someone into a formal trance. But guess what? Most of the techniques you're doing are creating a central focus. That's hypnosis. Meditation, hypnosis. You're going into an altered state. It's all the same thing, And so doing a mantra, if you don't want to think of the spiritual aspect of it, you can think of it in scientific terms and focus and energy movement and things along those lines. Anyway, we're getting away from our phone caller here, Sharona.
Right.
So how you been holding up, Sharona?
I have been holding up well. I love how you're talking about the mantras. I call it you change your vibration. And what it is, you change the way you're thinking. And everything that we really experience is actually our thinking. So anything that if you find yourself in a place where you don't want to be, change your thinking. I mean that figuratively speaking, in a place where you don't want to be. If you change your thinking, everything will change. And, it's, we're not, everything, that's our reality. So if you can somehow attach a positive meaning to whatever state you're in, even if it's like, boy, I'm so strong and I'm going to get out of this and go someplace else. You have control of that, but it's all about changing your state, changing your vibration. There's so many ways that you can refer to this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and there's that's another thing that we neglected to mention, Dr. Rose, in our conversation about, living life on purpose and taking advantage of troubled times, that one of the other things you could do is get on the horn, get on Skype, Facebook video chat, Zoom, what have you, with a Reiki practitioner. Get a distance Reiki session as well, because Sharona does Reiki. And there's another suggestion as well. The Reiki can help.
Absolutely. It's all about energy. And, just being with someone, you don't have to be physical. The great thing about this is you do not have to be physically in the same space. You can be online, you can be on a call, and, you're not powerless. There's help out there. So part of it, if you find that you are having trouble with something, just reach out. Reach out to people virtually.
Right. And so Sharona has a show here on the network called Magic Universe. She's on every other Sunday, though. So our next show is April 12th, which is this Sunday coming up. So I love when you call in on the Friday show, the Friday before your show airs, so we have the opportunity to plug the show and give them a little preview. So Crystal Reiki Master, speaking of Reiki, there's Angelic Reiki, which Sharona created and has a whole course on. And then there's Crystal Reiki as well. And Crystal Reiki Master Mary Brown, who Sharona had on her show recently, she's going to be back again on the show. Mary Brown returns. And they're going to be talking deeper into crystal grids. What do you want to say on that,
Nice.
Sharona?
Well, that's something I'm looking forward to that show because I do work with crystals, but crystal grids is where you create a design that with your crystals, almost like making a mandala, something where you can focus your energy on. So I am so looking forward to that show. I have so many questions that I want to ask Mary Brown. And I think it's going to be something that'll be really a powerful tool that we can all use right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, and in fact, I was talking to Mary. I didn't know anything about crystal grids. She did a show on her monthly show about crystal grids. And it's fascinating. She talked about how the patterns are from sacred geometry, actually. And
yes.
Anybody that's listened to any of our shows long enough with me on it, I'm into sacred geometry. And so it's just fascinating stuff. I can't wait to hear more about crystal grids. Anyway, that's coming up on Sunday. Remember, you can call in on the Sunday show with Mary and Sharona. You can chat with them about crystals, crystal grids, angels, Reiki, energy healing, tarot. They do all of that. And you can also call in for a mini reading on their show. So if we don't get your call today, remember there's Saturday tomorrow coming up, as well as Sharona's show on Sunday the 12th. Well, thanks for calling in, Sharona.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I am going to keep listening in because I know that you're going to be saying more things that will, benefit my day today. And thank you for the service that both of you do.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for listening.
Great to have you on, Sharona. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll be listening on Sunday as well. And, wow, just so many great shows coming up. Tomorrow, actually, I'll be back on with Mary Brown. Yes, the same Mary Brown. But we have a special guest, Dr. Rose. We've got author and tarot master Janet Boyer coming back on.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yes. And she wants to talk about tarot in the time of coronavirus, advice from the major arcana. How about that?
Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yes, I cannot imagine what that's all going to be, so I can't wait to talk to Janet and Mary. And I think we might be taking some calls on that show. It's a toss-up when you have a guest on. And so when I said there was a show tomorrow and then Sharona's show on Sunday, I forgot that we've got a guest, and so it all depends on whether or not they want to take calls or if they're going to talk for half hour, 40 minutes, and then Mary and I will take calls. I don't know what's going to happen exactly. We got to wait till tomorrow to find out. But I know Sharona is taking calls on Sunday for sure. And then Monday, April 13th, Wisdom of Your Soul, or Wisdom of the Soul, with Janice Fuchs. And that's a pre-recorded show, folks. And then it's followed by Compassionate Light, Healing and Guidance with Catherine Hahn. She's continuing her series of shows this month on the abundance mindset. Fits in perfectly with what we've been talking about today. And
nice.
She takes calls on her show. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And then you and I, Dr. Rose.
That's another thing people can do when they're experiencing stress is listen to our shows. call in. Let us know what's going on.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And next week, we'll be back Friday, April 17th with part 1 of 10 techniques for overcoming fear, stress, and anxiety. And we'll be taking calls on that show as well. And I'll mention the 18th next Saturday because it's Saturday is so close tomorrow that Mary and I are going to be talking about tarot correspondences. Do we really need them? We're going to be talking about all those astrological correspondences and Kabbalah and numerology and all these different correspondences to the tarot. But do we really need them anyway? Yep, that's on Saturday, April 18th. And by the way, in between shows, I'm trying to find this page here. Let me bring this page up here real quick. In between shows, of course, you can always get with any of us, and you can find us on Facebook and all over the place. My page is thetarotguild.com/Dax, and you can find Dr. Rose over at psychictalk.net/Dr. Rose. So it's Dr. Rose, DRROSE, psychictalk.net/Dr. Rose, Dr. Rose there. But I did want to. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying. Hey, I was just, when
yes,
you gave the email.
You can get a hold of us. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter, and talk to us in between shows. Give us ideas for shows, guests you'd like to have on, topics you'd like to hear about, or if you just want to chat, or something's on your mind and so forth. You can also book a session with us during that time, and I wanted to mention this real quick because there's a huge sale going on the Tarot Guild site right now. It's thetarotguild.com/spring. It's our big spring sale. We have 40% off everything: courses, memberships, certification, and readings. You can book a reading for me. A reading with me. God, I can't talk today, Rose. It's just not flowing. Some days it flows, some days it doesn't. Yeah. So you can book a reading with me for 40% off my regular fee of $97. It's just $58 right now. You can book a full session, includes your custom numerology chart and numerology report that I make up for you and deliver via email before the session. And that's just an awesome deal. So I wanted to put that out there that if you need to talk to somebody, if you want to, a lot of people go reading and they don't really necessarily have a lot that they need a reading on, Rose. They just want to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Yep. And when you book a reading with me, you're not paying for the reading. You're paying for my time. And we can do anything you want. We could do a tarot reading, or we can do life coaching, or maybe you want help with something, the stress we've been talking about. We're going to give you those techniques over the next couple of weeks, but maybe you want to have a practitioner work with you on it, use some NLP. We could do some energy tapping. We can do hypnotherapy. That could be done over the phone. It could be done over Skype and Zoom and Facebook video chat and everything as well. Audio or visual, we can do it. So, hey, my time's your time. Book a session, 40% off. We could do a tarot reading. You'll definitely get your numerology chart. But if you want to do some other kind of work, we can do that too. So I'm just throwing that opportunity out there. Everything else is 40% off as well. If you're a professional tarot reader, you can join the Tarot Guild for 40% off right now. It includes your Certified Tarot Reader certification, the CTR certification. is included with that. If you're new to tarot, you can take my course, which is normally $78, but you can get it for $46.80 right now. That's 40% off as well. You'll find all these deals on the same page over at thetarotguild.com/spring. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to wait till just, in between. You don't have to wait until the next show. You can always get with us in between shows as well. Alrighty, let's see if we could squeeze in a call or two here. I know we're going late, but there's a couple calls on here. Let's see who's been waiting the longest. Looks like area code 504. Are you there, caller 504? Hello? Okay, I'm not. Sounds like you're sleeping. Okay, we're going to hang up on that one.
I'm sorry, that was
okay.
Funny.
That was, I don't know if they were sleeping or what the deal was. They fell asleep. Anyway. So we're going to go on to our next caller, area code 216. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Patricia, calling from Cleveland, Ohio.
Hi, Patricia. How's things up in Cleveland?
Hi. I would like to ask, I'm considering learning and being a captioner, transcribing captions for video, film, whatever the product might be. And I'm wondering, and obviously this is to create income for myself, because the new job I had started in February, of course it was interrupted, as with all the other the jobs. So I'm considering using this as a side income and another skill set. Would this be a good for me? Effective?
No, right out of the box, I'm just going to say yes, and I'm going to go a little deeper into the cards. But right off the bat, absolutely. But I wanted to ask you something. Now, jobs like the transcribing and captioning and things like that, a lot of this could be done from home, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's the captioning that I'm focusing on. And I would just be able, I've got a library Wi-Fi hotspot, thankfully. And
nice.
And if I can just get started with that and then start earning some money. Obviously other concerns are to pay, because with both those transcribing jobs and these types of jobs, they usually pay, nothing, not a lot. But it's basically being paid for the product, the final product transcribed. Not all the time that I was. So, is this going to be worth my time while I'm developing and doing my writing? And
yeah, well, that's a separate question. So I'm gonna pull up different cards for that. But first, I want to, just look at this spread that I did that's kind of overall. And overall, it's looking really, really good. Of course, a lot. What I love about transcribing and captioning, anything along there, where you do that. God, there's all these websites out there that you can work for, like Fiverr and other ones where you can, basically hire yourself out. I like it because you're in charge. You're your own boss. You can take on as many projects or as little projects as you want. So you can really write your own ticket and make as much money as you want to. Now, maybe not with specifically what you're doing, because you may be aiming for a specific company that a certain way, and they're going to give you the projects in their own time, the way they want to do it, and so therefore it limits your pay depending on what they pay. Okay? What I'm suggesting is this looks really good. And so I think, this particular opportunity, if you're talking about a specific company, definitely go with that. However, don't forget that you have the opportunity, the massive opportunity to put yourself out there online and get other gigs in addition to this if you're not getting quite the compensation from this one gig that you're wanting. I just want to throw that out there. Okay, so yeah, the opportunities abound that are showing up in the reading today. It's saying to do a lot more research. I'm getting that same page of wands that I got for a previous caller. Remember when we were telling her to do research in finding a different living situation. In this case, it's talking about researching this industry a little bit more online and looking at for other opportunities while you go ahead with this particular gig, okay? I did it as a yes-no spread. You know, is this a good thing for you? Is this a good opportunity? 5 cards, 5 possible yeses, 5 possible nos, and I got 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3. I got 3 yeses out of 5. So that means it could really go either way. It's not a strong yes or a strong no, and it's definitely leaning yes. Definitely leaning yes. And there's opportunity here. The Queen of Coins shows up. A card about a capable woman, earthy, down to earth, patient, nurturing, organized. It's saying that, you know, you're a right fit for this opportunity. This opportunity is a right fit for you. And the very last card is an 8 card. 8 is abundance in numerology. It's the 8 of Cups. There's the creation of emotional stability, not just financial here. The Cups is about emotions, and it's the water element. And what's happening in the card is things from the past represented by the Cups. They've organized, the person's organized these cups and stacked them and, you know, basically let go and is walking away and up a hill, the side of a mountain or a hill. Onward and upward is the message from that card. And that's the last card here. So I think it's really good. Because it's coming out 3 instead of 4 or 5 yeses, that generally happens when there's something left to do. And the central focus card being that Page of Wands is hinting what that is that you need to do more research. You need to look into some other opportunities and so forth. Let me pull another quick spread here. Let me see here. Okay, yeah. So I'm getting another muddled answer where it's not a strong yes or no. It's leaning towards no. I got 2 yeses and 3 nos, saying that no, this is really not ultimately going to fulfill all your financial needs. You're going to want to branch out into other God, what is the word for it, Dr. Rose? I'm just blanking today.
Side group.
When you're a like an independent contractor, but there's a name for it. Freelancer. Yeah.
Freelance.
Yeah. You want to look right. I think that's going to help you out a lot, and I think that's what was coming up in that other spread. Patricia, especially with that card of research there being the central focus, you know, is that you want to look into freelancing and how you can supplement this. But this opportunity that you first asked the question about is still a really good opportunity to begin with, to get things going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm looking at 2 other opportunities as well. But I still have to learn.
And that you know, all the pages are about in the tarot deck are about learning, research, knowledge, school, courses, you know, anything along those lines. It's information passing for sometimes one of the pages will come up, meaning a message is coming. In this particular case, a message is information moving. In this case, it's talking about learning and research and information passing to you in that fashion. And so it's hinting at, what you should be doing. But that first spread I did, it's definitely leaning towards a yes for taking that opportunity, at least initially. And you can always supplement with the freelance work, or, you kind of get the experience working for this gig and then find something else.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for the call. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Of course, it's weekend 7 days a week around here anyway. But that was a great call. Great call to end the show on, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Great calls today. It was fun talking to Sharona. I think we put out a lot of information to help a lot of people. And then can't wait till next week, Dr. Rose. I think we're going to be helping a lot of people out with these stress techniques. Stress, anxiety.
I think so too. And I wanted to just remind folks that, our live radio show here ends up on like podcasts and all over the internet. And so feel free to go back and listen to some of our older episodes. If you need something to distract you from the craziness of the news, which is a lot of crazy stuff on the news, listen to some of our past and previous shows. You can spend your time and learning some of the stuff, because we've provided a lot of information, and we will continue to do so. But there's a lot of our previous shows that we have some valuable information where you can learn there too. So I just wanted to say. She still there?
That's right. Yeah, I was on mute, and I was looking something up. I'm trying to. Oh gosh, it's not coming up with that. I wanted to lead them to. I guess the easiest way is to go to psychictalk.net/Fridays, and you can scroll down, because like a lot of the shows we've done recently have a lot of great information. Even the show on expecting luck on Friday the 13th has in it themes that are going to help you with dealing with the stress, with moving forward, which is what this show was all about today, taking advantage of troubled times. Mantra practice methods and some other things showed up on one of our open line shows. And if you go back into February, I think you might have to actually go back into January. Okay, I'm arrowing back here. There it is. SMART goals versus New Year's resolutions. That's the one you want to listen to. Learn the SMART. It's an acronym, SMART, the SMART goals protocol. And that's what you could be doing. What we were talking about today. You could start setting those goals. And I think the reason why I wasn't coming up with the search is I did it as an acronym, S period, M period, A period, R period, T period. So if you're on our website, maybe you're checking the upcoming shows like we suggested, psychictalk.net/upcoming. If you go to the right column, scroll all the way to the bottom below the Twitter, you'll find the search box. And if you type in, I think if you type in even like S period, M period, you don't even have to put the whole thing in, but S period, M period, A period, R period, T period, the acronym, that show will pop up. And there's a really good one to listen to. It'll give you something to do while you're stuck at home like the rest of us, but it'll also get you going, setting your goals for this year. it's not over, folks. It's like, this is going to pass. We're going to start going down the other side of the bell curve on the virus here, and things are going to start resuming, Just as an aside, before we leave the air, I wanted to mention, remember you were talking about your mom and watching the TV, watching the news and all the negativity and everything like that. And one of the things that I really hate the most, and, I think I'm going to bring this up at the beginning of the show next week because, God knows God bless you if you stayed with us this long, let me just say. But so if I remember, I'm going to try to say this at the beginning of the show next week, because one of the negative things that they keep repeating that just drives me insane, the news people do it, the talking heads, the doctors that they have on, talk about bedside manner, where they're saying, oh, yes, well, things are not going to go back to normal. It's never going to be normal again. I'm sorry, but that is such BS. That is such BS. We are going to go back to normal. People are going to be able to move forward. When they hear things like that, and, it's not just you listening to it, and, consciously we can fight against it. We can say, well, that's not true. But it goes into our subconscious mind. And if you keep listening to this repetition over and over, over again in the news, it gets implanted in the subconscious, and it freezes you. You can't move forward. It's like, well, if things are never going to go back to normal, why even try?
Right.
And you got to stop listening to this stuff. We are going to go back to, in some parts of the country, like here in Tucson, Arizona, yes, there's people, we're social distancing. There's people wearing their masks. Things are shut down. Most of us are at home. Essential businesses only operating. However, if you go out to the grocery store and drive through Tucson, it's the same amount of traffic, 90%, that we've always had. Life is continuing. Things are actually fairly normal out there, except for the people, walking around with the face masks on, and social distancing and washing our hands. And I've got the hand sanitizer in my car, so I do it when I leave the car. When I come back in the car, I do the hand sanitizer again. We're doing the smart stuff, protecting ourselves, but things are fairly normal out there. Yeah, we might not be able to go to church. We might not be able to go to our jobs. We might not be able to go to the club, to the bar, to the movie theater, things like that, But people are not in the hard-hit parts of the country, like New York, but in most of the central, where I'm at, in Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, going up north to the central part here, we're not as hard hit. And even the West Coast and the East Coast, it's going to fade away. We are going to get back to normal, and I really hate when these people on TV are telling everybody, oh, it's never going to be normal again. That's ridiculous. We're going to get back to life. We're going to be going to the movies and backyard barbecues and everything. So that's the last thing I want to leave with everybody, that you can do what we talked about on the show today. You can move forward, and all the suggestions we gave you, all the things you can do still, even though we're at home, you can overcome, squash those, panic attacks or stress or fear or anxiety, whatever you're dealing with right now, loneliness. You can squash all that by doing the things that we talked about on the show today. And then next week, we're going to start giving you even more techniques as well. Well, thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks to all our callers and listeners. And Dr. Rose, thank you for being here.
Yes, and thank you for being here, too, Dr. Dax. This is a wonderful show.
Awesome show. Can't wait till next week. And I always like to say enjoy the rest of the weekend, but it's not like anybody's going to work on Monday, except for a few people.
Some of us just have a few feet from the bed to the computer desk to get to work, like me.
Me too. But of course, that's always my life. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.